Welcome to the playground of potential. My name is Matt the Poet, and this is my playground. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the Wim Hof Method. Now, I've done a video on the Wim Hof Method. Feel free to check it out, but I visited it recently and I just wasn't as happy with it as I'd like to be. So here we are for take 2. Shout out to Wim Hof, Superman himself. He's shown us all that we can be more than what we think we can be. In the description below, I'll link some of his material so you can check it out and get a more in-depth look at what he's been doing, what he's brought to the world. But for now, I'll give you a little brief overview of the technique, and I'm gonna go ahead and hop in that cold water and do a set of breathing in there. But first I'll go over the technique. It starts with 30 to 40 breaths to the top of your lungs, letting out roughly half your air each time. So it looks like this. So really emphasizing hitting the topmost point of your lung capacity each time, and then just sort of letting the air ease out, not forcing it out. And you do that 30 to 40 times. Personally, 33 is a number that resonates with me very highly. So every time I do it for 33 breaths. On the 33rd breath, you let out your air and you hold. You hold for as long as you can. And you'll find that you've oxygenated the body with those 33 breaths. So it might be a little bit easier to hold than you think it is. So don't be surprised if you find yourself holding your breath for way longer than you think. But when you have to breathe again, you're gonna have to breathe again. Let out whatever remains in your lungs and breathe to the top of your lungs and hold for 10 seconds. And you'll probably feel a little high afterwards. Just some sensations that you might feel. You might feel some tingling in the face or hands or feet. This is usual. It's just blood getting to where it's not usually getting to. It's an abundance of oxygen in the blood system, which can get kind of tingly and kind of feels weird. I suggest that you tend to breathe through it. It's not necessarily, it's not something to be worried about. What something that should be worried about is if you're going to do this in the water, make sure you have someone looking after you, because there is the possibility that you could pass out. Now, I've never passed out, nor have I seen anyone pass out from using this technique, but it is possible. Know yourself. I know your, abilities, and know your boundaries, and know your what it takes to remain safe. Because that's paramount. This is a technique that can get you living in a much deeper way, but it poses some dangers if you're going to do it in the water and you pass out. And you were to pass out and have your face submerged, you could drown. So it has some danger along with it. So be careful. Do it with a partner. Do it in safe environments. I always suggest that if you're first experimenting with the breath technique, do it on land. And also, you don't have to do it in the water. You could do it with a cold shower, which is much safer and much easier to sustain for most of us. But yeah, I'm gonna do one round of breathing before I get into the water. I'm gonna do that off the camera. And then I'll do a round of breath inside the water, which you guys will get to watch. So I'll meet you inside the water. All right, here I am again, and I'm ready to begin.
The cold, a bold abashment of my being. The robe of tiny pinpricks that I've adorned has sworn to turn my skin to tempered metal. I turn within as the temperatures settle. My breath screams at death, and the dark fellow slinks away, tail between its legs. I am filled with fire, a flaming refuge in which I refuse pain a presence at the table. Like the essence of the fable of the three bears, I feel just right, despite the might of this primordial emanation, for this is a demonstration of what it means to be alive. Vigor marries vitality in my veins, and pain's petty whelping is helping me restrain my sudden urge to laugh. Pity is more appropriate, for I feel a colossal sense of self. Survival sings her song in the seconds I sit in silence. The violence has subsided. All that is left is peace and release. I purge weakness and meekness and seek this serenity without vanity. There is no glamour in the hammer I've become, only a battle won and a memory of me before I was free.
That was quite invigorating. And now at this point, it's not the most comfortable thing to be in the water, but it's far more comfortable than it was when I first got in. If I wanted to stay in the water, I would do some more breath work, but I don't really want to do that for this video. So I'll conclude this video back on land. I'll see you there. All right, that was cold. Oh. I've retreated to this other river to finish off the video. I've dressed, I've dried. So I've shown you how to do the Wim Hof Method. But now I'm going to tell you why you should do the Wim Hof Method. There are many reasons. If you look at Wim's website, you'll see a list of different benefits that you'll receive. Immune boosting, cold tolerance boosting, circulation boosting, energy boosting, You feel more vital and alive. These are all true aspects of it. But the main reason that it has become such a staple in my life is because it fully eliminated depression from my life. Now, I had been working with eliminating my depression for quite a few years through natural means. I changed my diet. I went all organic. I exercised more. I found things that I loved to do that were active. And that brought me like 99% of the way there. But when I adopted the Wim Hof Method as a daily practice 2 years ago, it was the nail in the coffin for my depression. So why is that? Well, there is a theory that depression is actually a physical condition manifesting in our mental state, our emotional state. And there's some credence that I'd like to lend to that, because the Wim Hof Method is anti-inflammatory. It's alkalizing the body. So the exercise, the change in my diet, these were all alkalizing and anti-inflammatory moves that I made. And then the breathing, the oxygenating of the body, this alkalizes the body. This reduces inflammation. And if depression is in fact a response to inflammatory markers in the brain, it's no surprise that why Wim Hof Method was the nail in the coffin. Finished the job that exercise and diet did. Start. So I can't recommend this technique enough. I mean, on top, like, even if you're not suffering from depression, which many of us are, I mean, gosh, trying times if there ever were some. My heart goes out to those in Ukraine right now. But even if you're not suffering from depression at this moment in time, this will make you a more vital individual. Every time I get out of the water and I go back to the hot springs oftentimes, and I'll join other people who are in the hot springs, and they're always like, what's it like? And it's like, it's the most invigorating, life-affirming feeling that you can have. It truly is. It's brought me to life. It's brought the passion out. So it has so many benefits to it. And no downside. So long as you're being safe and smart about how you do it. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please share it with others. The Wim Hof Method, it's for everybody. If you're afraid of the cold, I understand. But this is a way to mitigate that. Now, I say that there are individuals with trauma that this may trigger. So I have a special caveat for those that have deep PTSD. Be careful in how you approach the cold, because it does have the possibility of re-triggering you or re-traumatizing you. I'm not there on whether it can be overcome. I'm working with friends to find that out. But we'll see. So the caveat is necessary. If you have PTSD, be careful. I'm not saying that it's not for you. I believe very strongly this technique is for all of us, but approach it with caution. And if you do find that it is re-triggering you, if it is re-traumatizing you, obviously it's not for you. Otherwise, if you're just afraid of the cold, if you just say, I have never liked the cold, this is a way of coming into a relationship with the cold that will empower you to such a great degree. I can't tell you enough how much this has changed my life, and I hope it changes your life too. I have a number of different offerings that I still have out there. If you're interested in my self-mastery sessions, one-on-one Zoom sessions, or in person if you happen to be in the Taos area, in which I help you find ways in expressing your highest potential. I also have signed copies of my book, Potential, Poems of Self-Mastery and More. If you're interested in that, you can reach out to me at playgroundofpotential@gmail.com. I also have poems that I do on a topic of your choice, typewritten, made special. They're great for gifts. They're great for beloveds. Or if you just want a little bit of inspiring words to hold close, reach out to me at playgroundofpotential@gmail.com. Well, I look forward to sharing many, many more videos with you in the future. Until then, peace.